April 1st, 1950. Where was your family? Well, if they were living in the United States, they might have been taking part in the 1950 census. My name is Gina Philibert Ortega for Genealogy Bank. Many genealogists are excited about the upcoming release of the 1950 census. But, although it's exciting to see where your family is and to find them in the census, this is a good time to prepare for that. And part of that preparation could be building a story about the 1950 census. And what was the experience of your family? What was going on in the United States? How were citizens being educated about the census? And the way that you can do that is by going to historical newspapers. So let's go to the Genealogy Bank website and take a look. So here we are on the Genealogy Bank website, and one of the things I want to stress is that, so often we think in terms of searching on our ancestor's name when we think about the website and finding articles. But remember, historical newspapers aren't just valuable because of what they say about our ancestor. They're also valuable because of the context they provide to us, what our ancestor or family's life was like. And this is a good example. So I may be curious, what was happening on April 1st, 1950, the official census date for the 1950 US Census. Now, in order to get results for that, I'm not going to search on my ancestor's name. I'm specifically looking for articles from April 1st, 1950 that mention the census. So one way I could do this is to leave that blank, the name blank, the search boxes, and then go to keyword and put in census. And then limit my search by a date range for just April 1st, 1950. Now, obviously, this is a very narrow search, but let's see what we can find. So once again, there's not a lot of results, right? And they're not for every state, but that's okay. We're just starting out our search. But what I like about this is it shows me some context for that 1950 census, which I think is valuable as we prepare to, in the not so distant future, actually see our ancestor or our family in the 1950 census. And you can see that if I click on some of these articles, and actually, even if you didn't have family from where that newspaper was from, it still gives you good information. Here's one for Dallas, Texas and Dallas County, and it tells you that it's starting, and it tells you the questions are simple and how much time it's going to be. Because remember, the census enumerator are going to the homes of your family members. And then it tells you what happens if you don't answer it. So that's important to know. And so let's look at another example real quick. This is one of my favorite articles because it actually contains an image, and in this case, it's an image of the census enumerators. Now, this is from the Oregon Journal, and there they are. It says, if you can't read the description, it says Quizmasters. These Portland census enumerators, portfolios in hand, pour out of district headquarters after final briefing. Today, they're ringing doorbells in all parts of city and county as 17th census since 1790 gets underway. I love this. I mean, obviously, if your family member was a census enumerator, this is a great photo, but it also kind of gives you a taste for what was that 1950 census like and what would our ancestor or family expect from that. So there's actually a few ways that you could kind of add some interest to what you learn on the 1950 US Census. You can look at and describe Census Day. You could look at articles that are leading up to the census, instructing our families about what the questions were, what to expect, that kind of thing. Or you could even look at various newspapers for your ancestors' location about what was going on in 1950. And you could add things like advertisements for the grocery store or help wanted ads or images from that place to better tell the story of what was our family like in 1950. You know, it's not enough just to provide here's where they were, and these are articles about them. That context is what makes telling our family story so important and so meaningful to our families of today. I hope that gave you some ideas about how you can enhance your family story with the 1950 U.S. Census and historical newspapers. While it's great to use historical newspapers to find our ancestor and tidbits about their lives, it's also a great resource for adding that historical context and helping our current family understand what was going on. By adding those historical newspapers from the day of the census or even leading up to the census, our current family can get a better idea of what our 1950s family was experiencing and what they heard and what they thought of the 1950 U.S. Census. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.